That's
See, the
that's
fact that
insane to
you
me.
the fact
But
that you bring that up, like how important it is for African Americans to do that, it's just kind of, it makes me guilty of that whole thing where I think of like, oh, it's not my problem. Like I don't think about that until someone brings it up in a conversation because I'm Asian, but I'm also I just always feel like I'm seeing things from just like the third party, and I don't know. I guess I just wanted to bring all that stuff up
yeah,
because, like, for me, from my perspective, I'm an Asian man. Like, the closest thing I can get to black is just having black friends and things like that
yeah.
in this life. And I just think it just reminds me like how much being black, how do I say this, like resides in someone's head, or like it affects their decisions and
Oh,
things like that.
oh,
Like
every
most of
single
the
decision you make,
it,
like
it
every
might sound
decision.
crazy, dude, but like I forget I'm Asian sometimes. I just fucking do what I want to do. And like sometimes I'll just look in the mirror and be like, "Oh yeah, you look
Yeah.
like that." It's just
Yeah.
I feel
Ooh.
pretty lucky, and not to just be that guy like, "Oh, it's not my problem" or anything, because we're talking about these things, and what the
Yeah.
hell else can I do? And I talk about it. It's like making a podcast at this point is better than voting. It's just like
Pretty
I
much.
don't know how to help. I mean, maybe I could donate money, but I like to say I'm not rich. I'm just cheap. Like I also have my own life that I'm like trying to figure out and stuff. But I mean, just talking about it, I guess, is enough to help. Yeah, man, I have
I
privilege. I definitely have
have way too
privilege,
much
and it's
privilege.
just yeah,
I
it's
am
weird.
moving up and down like this because I have a really good question for you, and this is
Okay,
gonna
what's
kind of
up,
show
man?
our two sides. I
Okay,
know like where you work and everything now, but
yeah.
let me just ask you this question. When you apply for jobs or when you go to job interviews or anything and they go, "Hey,
Mhm.
do you have any questions?" Do you ever ask them how many Asian people work here?
Fuck no, dude. I don't care. Like, I really don't care. Like, I'm cool. Like, that's where I feel like I'm not that racist. It's just like I'll get along with anyone, man, as long as we
Yeah,
vibe or whatever.
sure.
We've got. I don't. I don't know, but I feel like I'm different in that way because me growing up, I just never really even had an Asian clique or anything.
Yeah.
I was just Asian, dude. I don't know. Like I don't know. You listen to the Suicide Logs. I still haven't really talked into it that much, but my life is unique, man. I
Yeah.
grew up really weird.
So the reason I asked you that question is because me and a lot of black people, that's a normal question you ask in an interview for
Oh yeah,
multiple reasons.
definitely,
One, you
definitely.
do it to see, okay, what's this environment like? Like, how black can I be if I get this job? That's one thing. Two, you just want to know. Like, one, there aren't too many things that suck more than being the only black guy in the office or the only black guy in the workplace. There's
Yeah.
nothing worse. I just found out today. So I used to work at a company down here, and
Hmm.
they weren't really that good with diversity hires and things like that. They said they were
Okay.
trying, but
Well, I got a
I don't
story
I
about
don't buy it.
diversity, but I'll
Yeah,
let you finish.
I don't buy it though. And someone sent me a picture today, and one of the pictures that I took is still on their website, on their like recruiting page. And I'm like, that's interesting because I was already like one of 5 black people that worked there,
Yeah,
and now
man.
I don't work there any longer. So
Dude,
what do you got? Like 3,
you
4,
know what
and
that
you're
reminds
using this
me
as
of?
like bait? Like, come on, man,
That fucking
get out of
reminds me of
here.
that fucking reminds me of Hollister, dude. I
Yeah.
remember everyone was talking about how Hollister's racist. It's white people, and oh, they don't have extra large. They're racist towards fat people.
Uh huh.
And they then out of nowhere they started trying to push diversity. And I used to
Yep.
work there, and I remember at the interview they were like, "What is diversity to you?" Like they were really trying to look not racist. But here's what they fucking did, dude. They hired all the minorities and just made them work in the back, and then they just had all the white people work in the front.
Oh man. Dude.
But
And honestly, but that's how it happens because oh man, I'll never forget too. At this last company, one of the so I swear to you, out of a company of like I think it was 420, there were literally like 20 black people there in total. But
Jesus.
and mind you, a lot of them are in the lower kind of, not lower departments, but they're in the support departments or administrative roles. The stuff where you don't
Yeah.
really get a say in much, they don't pay you much, you're just there.
Yeah.
And one thing I
You're
remember is
just
I was talking
pawns, dude.
essentially, like I was talking to someone in our he was like basically running like analytics for our people team, right? It's like HR. And he was
Okay.
saying, "Oh no, we have more than 20 black people that work here." And I'm like, "There's no way. I know every single one of them." And he shows me
He's like,
like
you used to work
the
here.
yeah, man, he shows me like this program sheet. And the sheet's like we have like 80. And I'm like, "Wait, what do you mean? There's no way we have 80. Like, do they work remote?" And he was like, "No. the way it works is whatever the employee claims to be, that's what they put down. So this person
Oh
can
wow.
be literally a quarter black, which to me, I would consider that to be black, I guess, right? But
Sure.
or they could have a black great great grandfather, and they put that down, and that's what the company would then say is, oh hey, we're actually really diverse. We have 80 African American employees, but really what they're saying is we have 80 employees who claim to be African American or
That's fucking
something near
wild.
it. So it's like it was just insane to see them kind of mess with the numbers in that way. But when you're not black, you don't care. Like, you think white people are showing up to interviews like, hey, what's the diversity like? Hey,
Yeah.
what's
Yeah.
the culture like? Can I
But that's
be
the
white
thing
at
too,
this
like,
job?
I
They don't
want because
care.
I don't know if you know this, I'm not black, but I'm also not white. So I wonder what's the mindset of a white person when, like, do they have the same mindset of me of like, I don't care. Like, I don't care if I'm working in an all black place or something.
Yeah,
Like, you think a white person would feel uncomfortable if they had a job and they were the only white person there?
I doubt it. I really don't know that.
I feel like they'd feel
It's
uncomfortable. I feel
interesting.
like they'd be like, oh man, no one can relate to me.